Recktenwald, quarterback, senior, DuPont Manual High School.
All right. So you're the quarterback, the head honcho.
Yes, sir.
What's that like?
I think it's comes with a lot of responsibilities because you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what our whole offense is doing. You got to memorize the playbook. But I think it's coming with a lot of responsibilities. I think it's fun because everybody's looking at you, not just because you're in the spotlight, but I think when the team succeeds, I think it kind of rallies around you. So I think that's a pretty good part of being about the quarterback. But it does come with a lot of responsibilities, and it's hard sometimes to keep up with the whole offense and the playbook and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So you had a very bad back injury your sophomore year.
Yes.
And we got the news that you wouldn't be playing your junior year like 4 days before the season started, right? Was something like that?
Yeah, it was. I think we started school on Wednesday, and the game was Friday, and went to the doctor Wednesday, and that's when I found out I could not play football that year.
Yeah, so a lot of people were like, this is our year. They had a nice quarterback. We had Aiden here. We had a great defense. I mean, it was really set up for a good year.
Yes.
So that was a tough blow. What was the recovery process like, though?
A lot of rest. It was hard, but a lot of rest came with it, and just knowing that I couldn't really do anything with the football team physically. I mean, I could be there for them, but couldn't do anything physically. But that was tough, and then going to physical therapy, those are some tough sessions, doing whatever they needed me to do. But I was just going to do whatever they or the doctors needed me to do to get back out there.
Mm-hmm. What pushed you to keep going? What pushed you to keep recovering, even though it was possible that you wouldn't even ever play again?
I think it was just my love for the game, and then the people around me just always supporting and encouraging me. And when I was down, thinking I wasn't going to come back, I wasn't going to play, they were always there to tell me that I was going to do great. They were going to be there for me whenever I needed it. And then just everybody trusting me. I think that was a big part. Coaches trusting me, families, teammates, and a lot of the school. Even though I don't know them, I feel like they trust me just from things I hear. So that's always great.
Mm-hmm. So you bring up the school. What was it like running onto the field for your first game back with everyone cheering, under the lights? What did that feel like?
It was just it was probably one of the greatest feelings in the world, to just be back out on the field that you love to be out and play the game you love to play, and being out there for the first time since a devastating injury. It was just great to have all that support and all the fans show up and the teammates be there for you, so it was great.
Mm-hmm. When you got hit and went down, what was going through your mind?
The first time I got hit, I was a little worried that something may be wrong, but I got back up on my feet and everything felt normal, so it was good to get that first hit out of the way. And then now I really don't seem to think about it when I'm out there. I just go and play.
Mm-hmm. So coming back, missing all your junior year, a very important part of a quarterback and wide receivers is timing and trust and communication. What was it like having to possibly rebuild or retool that connection with your wide receivers?
It was pretty tough because I've only played with a handful of those guys, and so I think getting early together during the year, during January, February, March, and April, and just having those months to get out there and work on our routes and timing and all that, it was great. And I think we've really clicked with each other and got a good chemistry going on.
Yeah. So you're in the doctor's office for maybe a checkup or whatever it was, and the doctor comes back with the news that you'll be able to play football again.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? What was that moment like? How'd you feel?
I kind of just stopped, and I think thank God. I thank my doctors, and just that they knew what it took for me to get back out there. And so I think they believed in me, but I necessarily didn't believe in myself. But I think just them believing in me, I think everybody believing in me made me think to myself that I could really do this. And then when he told me, it was just like it actually happened, and I was like, dang, it wowed me.
So, senior year, you're back under center, you're leading the team. What's it like coming back after missing all that time on the field and establishing yourself as a leader of the offense and as the team?
It's, to me, I think that's a tough one. It's great to be back out there with all my teammates and all the guys that I love being around, and to be the leader of them. It's great to just look back and see, because everybody looks at me when the team has success, but I look at it and I say, we're a whole team, so it's got to start with the line. Then it goes to all the players involved with the offense, and just me being put as the leader of that group is great, because we're having a very good year. So it's awesome to be put as the leader of the offense.
Mm-hmm. So, Male versus Manual, one of the biggest high school football games across the nation, over 100 years of history. What is it like coming into this game, not being able to have won the past three, and knowing that this is really your last chance to take Male out? What's the mindset like going into that game?
I think all of our mindsets are that, we've been put as the underdog in pretty much every game, and we're obviously going to be the underdog coming into this game, them being undefeated, us hopefully being 8-1. So we're coming in as the underdog, and I think we like being the underdog in a lot of our games, because I think teams kind of underlook us, and then we go out there, we smack them in the mouth, we catch them by surprise. And I think we can do that to Male, who's a very great team, but I think we can go out there and surprise a lot of people with the way that we play.
You mentioned being the underdogs. You just played St. X.
Mm-hmm.
Beat St. X. What was the feeling when the clock hit 0, you looked up at the scoreboard, and it said 2019? What was that like?
I think it was just a kind of a we're here moment. I think nobody thought we would be in that game, just because we hadn't beat them in 26 years. So I think for us to pull that win out, it was just like, we're here now. We're a football power now. We haven't been for the past couple of years, but I think now, we're getting to that point to where we're going to be a top football power in this state.
Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of players in these interviews talking about how this is your guys' year. Mm-hmm. DJ said this is the come-up year. This is our year. How do you show the younger players the mindset that this is not the season where we're going to be losing? This is not the season we're going to be messing around. This is the season that we're going to win. How do you show that and project that onto the younger players?
Well, I think the younger players and all of us came into the season thinking we're not gonna play around. We're not gonna be like the past couple of years and come into games where we think, oh, it's St. X, oh, it's Male, oh, it's them. We're gonna lose. I think we came in believing that we could beat anybody that was put in front of us. I think we've really played that way, and we've showed it out there.
Mm-hmm. So it's your 4th year. You guys are Coach Carmely's first class. What's it been like really growing up in the program with him? What has he taught you? How has he affected you as a player and as a person?
think it was his first year. It came in. You know, it's always a little rough when we're coming into high school. We don't know what it's going to be like, and you get put into a coaching change. So nobody in the program knew what it was going to be like with Coach Carmody. But I think he loves every one of his players, and sometimes he may yell or be mad at you, but he's always going to be there for you. And if you ever need anything, he'll always be there, and do whatever you need. And as football goes, I think he's really shown us how to play as a team, and that if you play as a team, you'll have greater success than if you play just as a bunch of individuals and are worried about yourself. So I think he's really taught us to play as a team, and that I think this year he's really taught us to believe in ourselves. And he's always telling us that he thinks we can play with anybody in the state, and I think he's really put that into our heads, and we're trying to play that way, that we can play with anybody in the state, and I think we're getting there.
Mm-hmm. You bring up believing in yourself. What has it been like? You bring up believing in yourself. What's it been like after suffering multiple losing seasons and just taking hits on the chin? What's it been like trying to motivate yourselves and really push yourselves forward to have a good season despite knowing a few tough years in the past?
I think it's just all of our mindsets are different than the past year's players. In my freshman year, I think a new coach came in and they didn't really know what he was going to be like, and then they don't know how he is. They don't take him. I guess it's not as serious, but I guess they're not buying into what his philosophy is or what his style is. And then I think as it's gone on, I think we're buying in to his way, and I think our minds are set on winning instead of other things that may have affected us in past years. And I think we're on the way to being a great team here, and I think this is the start of it.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned freshman year, coming up with a new coach. So I can see how that would be a stressful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there also wasn't a freshman team.
No.
So you started JV your freshman year, correct?
Yes, I started some games my freshman year on
Yeah.
JV, yes.
So what did being a younger guy playing on a higher level than you expected, what was that like?
I think that helped us more in the long run than it would have been if we had a freshman team. Because I think you're thrown in there against people that are 1-2 years older than you, almost 3 years older if you played varsity. I think doing that, I think it really helped us come along in high school, and I think we've definitely matured greatly since our freshman year. I think it was because we were thrown into JV, thrown into varsity in our freshman, sophomore years.
Mm-hmm. So that freshman class, you're now seniors. Some people have left the team from that class. Some people from that class have joined the team. But you've all grown up together the past 4 years. How has that affected you guys on the field, off the field, and what's it like really being a smaller senior class?
I think our chemistry is just really great with each other. We all bond well together, and growing up these past 4 years, I think no matter what, on and off the field, we each have each other's back. So no matter what we're going through, if it's something in life, we're there. If it's on the football field, somebody's down, we'll come pick them up. Somebody's done something good, we'll congratulate them. So I think the chemistry is really good among us, our senior class this year.
Mm-hmm. So changing tones a little bit. What is the funniest thing Coach Carmody has ever said?
I think the funniest thing Coach Carmody has ever said. I don't know if I.
So,
All right. Okay. The funniest thing Coach Carmody has said was he didn't give a rat's piss or something like he didn't give a rat's piss or
he didn't give a squirt of rat's piss about any other team.
He didn't give a squirt of rat's piss about any team or anybody.
Yeah. You're not the first player to say that. That's why I know that quote. It's because multiple players have said that same quote. So, what is something that in 30 years you're walking into Target and I don't know, this memory pops in your head? What is the funniest thing you remember from this team that'll make you laugh when you walk into Target 30 years from now?
I think it's just all the bus rides to and from games. Two games. We're not really hyped up. We're getting focused, but after a win on the way back to school, it's just everybody's joking around, everybody's laughing, everybody's joking. We're listening to music, and everybody's just hyped up because you came off a win. So I think that'll be the thing I remember most about these days.
Mm-hmm. So obviously the back injury was tough. Probably the hardest thing you'll go through in your life. But what's another defining moment on the field, off the field, on practice day? What is one moment that you were just kind of like, this is tough, I've got to work?
I think it was my sophomore year. I hadn't really got varsity time, and Western game came up. First half didn't get in. The second half, came in after some changes. We won the game, and then that week, following week, we had Ballard. I'm sitting there, we're in our stretching lines. Coach Carmody comes up to me, and he tells me I'm the man. And when he told me that, it was just like, all right, this is really high school football. I really got to get to work, got to quit joking around, got to study playbooks, got to study film. It was just so much more from knowing that you were starting varsity than it was if you were starting JV or you knew you were going to be a backup. You had to do so much more for the games.
Mm-hmm. So what's it like learning the playbook, making the calls? How hard is that?
When you come in here as a freshman, everything's different from what you've been doing in recent years of you playing football. So I think freshman year was the toughest learning year because you had to memorize what all the formations were. But I think for us, new coach came in, so it was different for everybody. I think it was easier for a lot of us to get caught up on what we needed to know because nobody was ahead of each other. So I think freshman year was definitely the hardest year learning the playbooks, and now most of the plays are still the same, but week by week we're still adding stuff, and it comes on as they give it to you. So right now it's when they give me a new play, you got to think about it for a second, but then you're like, oh, okay, I know what's happening now. So it's just the way you progress through each year is easier and easier as it goes on.
So what advice would you give to a freshman quarterback right now?
I would definitely say learn your coverages, learn your defenses, study your film, study your playbook is probably number one. Know your playbook. Know where people are supposed to line up. Know what they're doing. And I think another thing is just to relax when you get out there. Because if you're all tensed up, you may throw a pass, and just because you're tensed up, you're going to be nervous about it. You just need to let it fly. Just believe in yourself is another big part. Believing in yourself, believing in your receivers, believing in your line. That's a big part too, because if you're worried about your line, you're not going to be able to make throws downfield. You're not going to be able to make reads. So I think just trusting your teammates and studying playbooks, film, and relaxing is a big part.
Mm-hmm. Why do you play?
I think, so started out playing, I think probably just because my parents threw me in there. And then I think as the years have gone on, the love for the game just increases. And then I think when I've gotten these last 2 or 3 years, it's been my teammates. You know, I love being around my teammates. I may not show it, but I love being out there on the field. I love, you know, even if the coach is yelling at me, I just love being out there. And with the teammates, that's just something you'll never forget, is being out there with your teammates. And then it's just the school, in high school, it's been really the teammates and the school. You know, they all rally around the football team because, I don't know, they all love it. So just being out there and, you know, loving the game, being with your teammates, and all the fans come out and support, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is your message to male? So for my last question, what is your message to male?
I think my message for male is that we're here and we're ready and we're coming for y'all. And it's gonna be a dogfight, but we're ready.